Greetings and salutations, greetings and salutations. This is the matriarch Salima, and today I want to talk about debunking the child support narrative and how it's been used as a tool of divisiveness to further divide our community. And the worst part is that we have the haves and the have-nots. Now, obviously, if you don't have it, you're going to apply for things that you need when you have children. But we have the haves speaking on the haves-not situation and what they shoulda, coulda, woulda, shoulda did. Well, this is me as a mother telling all you haves, speaking from the outside, looking in, shut the fuck up. This is the truth about child support. When you're dealing with indigenous people, okay? First of all, most indigenous people live below the poverty line, period. When a man and woman get together within the system and they live below the poverty line, when the child comes along and the woman is not receiving enough of the physical support, well, financial, because the fathers are there. Let's stop lying. The fathers are there, not all of them, but there are a lot there. I see it with my own eyes, so that's not always true. Let's stop putting up these false divisive narratives. See, I'm going to use my social media platform to build our communities. Fuck these false narratives. I'm not out here to get likes for arguments. I am a true homeschooler. That means everything I put out on my page is to uplift the people. So for men out here going after women about, and dogging them out on these medias about, tapping the men up for social, child support, and you women dogging these men, look, we about to put a stop to that. So let's just base child support on the state of Michigan, okay? Now, you're both low income when you get together, period. You make a baby, okay? Now, the man may be there physically, but financially, he can't help build up that situation. So what does the mother do? She goes and applies in the state of Michigan. She goes and applies for child support, which is food stamps, Medicaid, and cash. Now, we both know, or most of us know, and for those of you that don't, check this out. In white communities, their lawmakers advocate for them to receive those services under certain conditions. And in our communities, where I'm Wayne County, those lawmakers, create laws and legal ways for us to get those benefits under certain conditions. Now, when we talk about the black community, the black woman receiving stamps, money, and health care from the state, in the state of Michigan, she cannot receive any of those things if she does not give up the name of the father, period. This is not her applying for child support. This is her applying for the financial support she cannot get from the father. Okay? The state of Michigan automatically puts the father down for child support. And I'll tell you why. Because now the father is seen as what? He's a minority. He doesn't have a majority sense. People of majority can handle their affairs without the aid of government. Because the mother has come to the government to ask for aid, they are both now minors. Okay? You are both now minors. And the government is not only going to support the children of mother and father, they're supporting the children of their minors. So this isn't just us coming after all that nigga broke. Let me tell you something. When we both laid down, we both knew we was broke. When we both laid down, we both knew we could make a baby. So all this, you men being mad because the woman, you know this woman that you made this baby with needs more than you're giving her. And for those who live in reality, the state of Michigan gives the black woman less than half of what they give their white constituents in aid. Less than half. And our white counterpart, their husbands and stuff get to stay in the home. Ours don't. Ours are jailed, bonded, bench warrants, all kind of shit put out on ours. So no, this is not the black woman just coming after the man. This is the system showing the black man, hey, if you're going to make a baby with these women and you're not going to financially support them and they come to me for aid, I'm going to come after you. Period. So let's stop this divisiveness. Let's stop these lies. The state of Michigan, a woman of color cannot get food stamps for her children. They'll let you starve. She cannot get Medicaid. You could die at the hospital door. You cannot get cash. They don't care if you get put out from your home if you do not give up the name of the father. Period. Now, do you think the white counterpart got to go through all of that? Hell the fuck no. Because they make sure. That's why there is no such thing as integration. Because when they integrate to our areas and they live in these situations, they have to put up with the laws that their white counterparts put over us to make life more difficult. So that's why you will never see true integration into our communities. It's always gentrification. Okay? So let's stop this bullshit on the internet with divisiveness. In the state of Michigan, a woman cannot get shit. A woman of color cannot get no aid from the state unless she gives up the name of the baby father. And you could think you lie and get these people, you ain't gonna get nothing. And for you men, you better wake up to reality because that's the reality. Now, am I going to let me and my baby starve or am I going to give these motherfuckers your name? So I'll make sure me and my baby go to bed at night with something on our stomach. Think about it. So let's stop the divisiveness. Let's stop the lying that the women are purposely going after. No, the state go after the men because the men are not providing financially the help that we need. And trust and believe what the state give us still ain't fucking enough. It still ain't enough. In the state of Michigan, a black woman, even if you got kids, still can't get aid unless you working part-time. You got to be straight physically disabled to get something from the state of Michigan. You can't even get food stamps or nothing like that. You got to be working part-time. They don't help you unless you working. Flat out. And this is the state of Michigan. So all you people want to come over here, these women trifling, they going after, no, they ain't going after these men. They making sure their babies is fed. And for all you men that want to put these women down, yeah, this bitch put me on child. No, she didn't put you on child support. The state came and got your ass because the state realized they had to feed your baby. She never sat down and filled out a child support order. The child support order went out automatically when she applied for aid to feed the child you helped her create and cannot financially take care of. That's what created the child support order. Now, for women who do not get stamps and stuff like that, that's different. Y'all go to court, y'all get a lawyer, y'all put out a child support order. That is different. But for those who are low income and cannot feed their families without their aid, we did not sit down and put out a child support order. What we did was go down to whatever they call it, FIA, Families, Independent Agency, whatever they call it, SNAP, Women and Children, whatever. We filled out a book that said we need help feeding our children. We're not making enough, even if we are working. We filled out a book and said, look, I am working part-time, but I'm still not making enough to pay my rent, pay my bills, and buy our necessities and blah, blah, blah. I filled out a book that it said, look, I need medical help. Even though I'm working, my job ain't giving me enough medical for the children that I have. So we filled out that book, and then they say to us, well, you can get aid, but who the daddy of these kids? And you ain't getting nothing for these kids unless you give us the name. That is not a child support order. So you better wake up and realize that these platforms are playing tennis with you. They're playing tennis with you. This shit is written into the law. There's no black woman going after the man. I know my child would rather spend time with their father than, I mean, what good is it him locked up, but what good is it if our baby is hungry? So you put the black woman in these catch-22 situations, and you always make us the bad guy. So brothers, it's time for y'all to buck up and say, what kind of future am I creating for my child when I lay down with this woman who I know don't have no more than I do? And know that we can make a baby, and she's going to be the one raising the baby. Whose name is going to come up? Yours. Because I don't care who you are. I would sell down anybody down the river to feed my child. That's my reality. I will cut your ass up. I got my pit going right now. I'll cut your ass up and throw you on that fire to feed my baby. I don't even believe in cannibalism. But who will let their child starve? So now the mother has, and that's where the real scales of justice come in. See, now the indigenous family is really facing United States justice, because you have to realize now you have the mother who is the scale. She has a blindfold on. On one scale is the father of her children. On the other side of the scale is her children. Who is she going to sacrifice? See, and I did a live not long ago with a young man that said, no woman is going to love you like your mother. And I agreed with him. He was right. No woman is going to love you like your woman. So you men have to realize when you make children with these women and you feel like you being sacrificed, you look at that child she willing to sacrifice your ass for, that you help her make. Think about it. Justice is not blind. That's the mother. That woman holding the two scales, that's the mother of your children. You're on one side of the scale and your children are on the other. And guess what? The weight of you becomes too heavy. What happens if she wants to lift that other side of the scale up? She has to find some kind of countermeasure, doesn't she? Doesn't the mother of your children, who you claim don't love you, ain't no good because she sacrificed you to child support so that she could feed your children? Well, imagine her as the woman with the scales. Ain't that the Gemini or the Virgo? The woman with the scales, with the blindfold? That's the indigenous woman. That's what the society has been putting her through. And you, black men, you've been putting her through it too. And telling her she's awful for loving you enough to give you her good love and to make a beautiful baby. And then you turn your back on her and you turn your back on that baby and you leave her to society, to the justice of society. And you get mad when she's in that middle, when she's that Virgo with that blindfold on, with that scale, holding that scale, with the weight of you on one side and the weight of her children. Got us scaling up our family like dope. Got us swaying up our family like dope. See what I'm saying? So let's get off this divisiveness that we're after the black man. And no, we have to make better decisions, black man. You can't just keep saying the black woman. The black woman is making the better decision. She has a child. She's staying with the child. She gonna do whatever it takes to make a child, to do for that child. And that means the sacrifice of you too, unfortunately. And you have to think about, what are you willing to do for your child? Because how many of you men are taking into consideration that this woman is willing to sacrifice you for your child? It's time for y'all to think about the game a whole different way. Stop pointing the finger at me, because I'm here. I'm raising a child. You might not like the way I'm doing it, but you're not coming in with no better solutions. You got to have some kind of better solution. You can't just say, submit to me and be obedient, but the baby gonna be hungry. So yeah, this was my live about, child support and these divisive ass videos, pointing fingers, the woman pointing the fingers at the men pointing the fingers at the woman. Y'all know I hate that shit with a passion. We all did this shit together. We both make these babies. Let's both learn these laws and figure out what's really going on, and stop letting the haves make money off of who they consider the have-nots. Making money off our situations on these computer screens, using our situations to make entertain people's homes. Fuck that. This is what's really going on. We talking about rise of the matriarch. Guess what? Patriarch, we ain't going you got the rise too. You got the rise too. Young, old, I don't care who you. If you got the wango way, you got to elevate that thing. You got to elevate your mind. Ain't no more shoulda, woulda, coulda. That shit ain't real. So I'm going to end this because I got something on the grill. I want to make sure I ain't burning it up. And I love y'all. That's just some facts, some reality on child support. At least in the state of Michigan. I don't know how it is in the other states. And I'll do the other live later on the plague, which we're facing now, which is, boy, oh boy. And, so yeah, love y'all. Hope that was good for y'all and that you learned something. Peace.